Good evening, or is it good morning? And welcome to today's Beating COVID 19. That is for the 23rd of May. Today's broadcast is very late. It's way past midnight. It's been a long day, it's been a hectic day, but it's been a day all the same. I want to thank God for renewing some things afresh in my day that I will share with you. Things that will help you beat COVID-19, the mental health pandemic, and also set you on the path for tomorrow or Sunday, that is evening, where I think during the day we'll send out a Zoom request on Facebook. We'll do it on Facebook, and if you're interested in joining up, that's fine. You'll just log in, and Zoom will have to admit you. I would request if you just it would help to know not who you are, but it would help to know that this is a subject that is interesting for you. So I would request that anyone who would like to join the Zoom, could they please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, so that at least I can get a subscription list, and it's easy for me to see who you are when you're logging in, and then we can at least usher you in and we can have a session. We have limited spots, so we do want to use the Zoom session more to help over in this topic. So today we're going to talk about confession is good for the soul, and by the way, that will be the title hopefully of tomorrow's Zoom session. Confession is good for the soul. Today was an interesting day. We had some disasters all day long. Some stuff wasn't working out, so the whole day has just been trying to fix the problems, and we thank God we were able to fix the problems before the end of closure of business today, and also we've been able to get services. And it was during that time, in the process of all the hard work that is going on, that today's lesson comes in, and it comes in from a testimony of a plumber, a good friend of mine, known him for years, and we sat down after the work was done, and he proceeded to share his picture on COVID-19 and what it has done to the Christian community. He is, I would say, he's a pastor in a church also, along with plumbing work that he's done over the years. And he mentioned that what has happened is that the COVID situation has put everyone level. I mean, it's a grand equaliser, and everyone has been put in one level. They're all in one state. Before, like talking from a Christian point of view, we relied on our religious leader or religious leaders to kind of usher us into the presence of God, or guide us into the place of worship or place of prayer, or channel our prayer and supplications and penances to God. And with COVID-19, that has just been chopped up. I mean, everything is level. There is no superior pastor or inferior one, no religious leader who's over the rest. All of them have been forced to comply with the conditions that have been set out for them. And because of that, what that has produced is that now you, as the person who is a follower of any religion, any creed or credence or school of thought, you have an opportunity to have to go forward and meet with your maker, in terms of prayer, in terms of supplication, in terms of penances, in terms of requests, in terms of praying for others, giving to others. You have to take the initiative yourself. And his picture was something like this. He said, before, people used to come to God. Now God's waiting for you. They used to come to God through their religious leaders, through their pastors, through their teachers, through their scholars and so on. But now it's opposite. You, the believer, you, the person of faith, must come to your God. You must make the steps to pray. You must do the stuff yourself, because your rabbi, your teacher, your sheikh, your pastor, your preacher, your father, your deacon, your everybody is not available to you at the time that you need them. You can't go in for confession. Church is closed. So you now have to make those confessions direct to your to your God. And because of that, it brings back to mind that confession is good for the soul. And I know that saying has been told many times, but in my view, I'll only quote 2 verses that talk about the word confess. And one of them is Romans 10:19. It says, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, then you will be saved. That's a confession. Now, another confession would be that in Numbers 5, 6, and 7, it says, if any man or woman, and I have my notes as usual, if any man or woman, it says, say to the Israelites, if any man or woman wrongs another in any way and so is unfaithful to the Lord and is guilty, must confess the sin they have committed. And then after that it goes on to talk about the clause of restitution, where you should pay back to the person you have offended and add a fifth on top of that to compensate them for their loss. And the issue of confession is very important because it lays bare your heart. It opens you up to a place where you feel vulnerable, but you should feel confident. Remember the word confidence in our this week's mental health thing. You have confidence that something will be done on your behalf. And because of that, that's one of the things that has made the concept of having a Zoom session, because we've tried YouTube, tried Facebook, even yesterday's Facebook upload hasn't loaded up to today, up to more than 24 hours. And I think I get a feeling maybe there's an upload issue, maybe my bandwidth is not good enough. I don't know, but YouTube works, Zoom works. It's just Facebook work and the simulcast doesn't work. Those two don't seem to agree at all. But it's okay. We will work with what works with us. And one of the challenges and thoughts that have crossed my mind in dealing with the mental pandemic is to have a space and a place whereby you can confess what's burdening your soul. If you're pissed off with how people are not wearing masks, you need a place you can unburden that feeling. If you feel like you need prayer and you need somebody to just reach out across the internet and pray with you, want to create a place where that can happen, where you don't have to have a hierarchy to go to the top, but you can have a level playing field where everyone's free to share what they want, at least to get the confession out of their soul and make it good for them. Let it get out not in the public, but into the atmosphere, literally. And then at the end of that, we can see which works best. Maybe some of you like to sing, some of you like to pray, some of you like to join in a word of prayer, some of you like to just share a verse, a scripture, something that has motivated them. Because the mental health pandemic will not get the same amount of funding as the COVID-19 pandemic. Believe me. They won't spend the billions they are spending on PPEs today to deal with the mental health pandemic. You'll be told to go to a shrink or psychiatrist or psychologist, and all those people cost money. But I want to tell you for free that confession is good for the soul. So tomorrow evening, I would say from around 9 p.m., since I have a paid Zoom account, it means we can stretch the time. We can have a session where the people just talk. We just introduce confession is good for the soul, and we start from there. We see how it goes. And those who attend, feel free. If you don't want your comments stated, if you don't want it recorded, we can always say it's a one-off thing. We'll go, we'll talk, and the session will end, and we'll hang up, and we'll have no record of what we have said. We'll let it go in the internet and be part of the electrons and molecules floating around on the net. I feel that in closing with this chapter of the mental health pandemic, to close this chapter, we need to do what has been omitted. We need to bring back to bring back the social services, the religious networks, the fabric of society. We need to knit it back into one solid, contiguous material, so that material will be strong enough to absorb the shocks and absorb the problems when they come back to us. And we shall know that confession is good for the soul. So, take care. I wish you guys a good night. I hope that, as I've said at the beginning, please make some time, join the Zoom, go to the site. I'll put the link to the YouTube channel, because I think that's when we can actually be able to track who has joined. Subscribe, click the bell, please, and then join us on Zoom. And when you come to Zoom, I hope we can be able to identify you properly, but we shall, because we do utilize we log in via Zoom or Google on Zoom, and it's on the same kind of bridge that we use. So I would like to request that if you can do that, I'd really appreciate. It will help me manage who comes in. And when you arrive, just if you see somebody say hi. If you don't, it's okay. Feel free. We're all there together, and we just want to open up our hearts and share what it's been like for us, and where we think it's going, and what we think is going to happen, and also how it's going to help our hearts and give us some calm and give us some level-headedness. And as we can start the week, because Monday is Eid, we can be able to start the week on Tuesday having a better perspective of life in this COVID-19 pandemic. I wish you guys all the best. Good night. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next one.